Hey guys, thank you for joining the quest again today. I'm your host Marquise Underwood, and today I'll be reviewing my top 10 worst slash disappointing movies of 2017. I haven't seen every movie, so some of these most of these actually, I saw on video on demand and Blu-ray, just catching up my last, few months of the year. So I did not see everything. Like I wanted to see Wished Upon just to see how bad it was. I feel like bad movies and disappointing movies you can learn a lot more from than the really good movies that we get every year. So this list was actually pretty hard to make since I haven't seen a lot of movies. So let me just give you guys my honorable mentions right here. I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I was, really expecting a good movie since I loved the first movie, very surprising to me. But I felt the second was more of a hash copy of the first one. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I love the movie. I really do love the movie. It's just the reveals that were hyped up, with Snoke and Rey and Kylo and all that. I just feel like in that aspect, it really just did not hold up and live to its bargain. We have A Cure for Wellness. I was really interested in this movie just based on the trailer. The trailer was really good and I didn't know what to expect. And I did like the movie. It was pretty good actually. Just the ending kind of suffered for me, and some of the movie I just felt like it could have been taken out of, to be completely honest. And my last honorable mention is Alien Covenant. I really did like Prometheus, unlike a lot of other people, but Alien Covenant to me just felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be, whether it was as Prometheus or just Alien. It was a good mixture of both, and I just felt like it was kind of missing an identity. So let's get started, guys. Number 10 on my list is Justice League. If you saw my movie review for Justice League, you know that Justice League for me, I did not like it at all. I felt like the movie was 10 years late, and actually, they were supposed to make a Justice League movie in 2007, but I guess it just didn't hold up for what was going on at the times. But here, it just felt like a mashup of different things, and there wasn't really any character development, and the bad guy wasn't really all that special, and the CGI was bad. I like the DC movies. I really like them. Man of Steel is my thing. Batman vs Superman, I love this. But this movie I really despised. Number 9 for me is Atomic Blonde. This is more of a disappointments part of my list right here. Atomic Blonde, it was supposed to be like the female John Wick. And though the action scenes were pretty good, I just felt like the story was just really okay and average. I did like the cinematography, how the shots were. Some of the fighting scenes were really done well with long takes and all, and the color schemes. But just the story just held this movie down a lot. Number 8 for me is Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I liked the first Kingsman. I really did like it. As a James Bond fan, it felt more of a campy slash fun version of James Bond with teenagers, and just a mixture of James Bond learning basically. But here, I felt the villain was okay. The story was kind of everywhere for a little bit, and the CGI and some of the fight scenes was overdone. It just felt like they had a plan to be bigger, and as we know, bigger is not always better. Another disappointing for me is number 7, Kong Skull Island. Now, I wasn't really hyped up for this movie, but I did see the original 1933 version of King Kong, which I did like, even though it had some racial issues. But I think it still holds up actually with the whole stop motion stuff that they were doing back then. But here in this Kong Skull Island movie, the stories, it was terrible, man. The characters, they just were there. Kong, he was okay, but you kind of don't fear him like how you do in the other movies. I just felt like this movie was more of a cash grab than anything else. Number 6 on my list is Kidnapped. Kidnapped is a movie with Halle Berry. I saw it, I think back in, I want to say May or June, and just during this movie, I was laughing the whole time, to be completely honest. It was very much like a Lifetime movie, but a terrible version of that. There's like a scene in the movie where the bad guy gets out of the car after Halle Berry's son is kidnapped, and instead of Halle Berry, running the girl over, she allows her into her car, and they're driving somewhere, and of course the lady tries to kill Halle Berry, and of course Halle Berry survives. But this is more of just a car chase movie type of thing, and it's done pretty poorly, and every 5 minutes Halle Berry is yelling. This movie was just a mess. Number 5 for me is Ghost in the Shell. The trailer had me iffy. I'm a big Ghost in the Shell fan of the animes. I saw the second movie, Innocence, and kind of watch a little bit of the TV shows, Arise and the other one, Standalone Complex. But this movie here with Scarlett Johansson, if you've been following it, the whole whitewashing thing was weird because in the movie, for some reason, they decided to make the two white guys over the leads, Scarlett Johansson's character and the character that she meets with at the end. For some reason, they decided to make them upgraded Asians in a sense because they were like, Scarlett Johansson's character originally was the major character that we know from the anime. And I just felt like that was super weird. But I mean, besides that, the cinematography and the visuals are great, but the story is trash. Like, it missed the heart of Ghost in the Shell, and it just focuses on the visuals, unfortunately. Number 4 on my list is Rings. This movie, honestly, I have no idea why it was made. From what I understand, I think there were 2 sequels to the first Rings movie, if I'm not mistaken, and both of those were pretty bad. This one kind of updates the whole VHS thing with internet and DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, but it's more like a dumbed down version of the original to me. And as we all know, that's not a good thing. Number 3 for me is 50 Shades Darker, or whatever it's called. I do think this movie is slightly better than the original, but still with like the sex BDSM, whatever it's called, that's not really there. It's faint, and the chemistry between the two characters, Dakota Johnson and the guy, it was not really there. And the whole thing with the mother, I forget her name, the actress name, but that just was kind of weird. It was kind of like the guy had some type of weird relationship with his mom, and there's no chemistry. The story is just as bad. Don't go see this movie, please. Unfortunately, they're making a 3rd one coming out next year. Number 2 for me was on my top 10 anticipated movies of 2017, and it was All Eyes on Me, the Tupac movie. Tupac's not my favorite rapper, but I do consider him one of the best, just because purely off the subject matter that he talked about and how diverse he was and what he did. This movie felt like a Lifetime movie. Now, I know this movie was kind of hyped up and did make some money at the box office just because of the NWA movie that came out a few years ago, but right here with this movie, All Eyes on Me, like within the first 5 minutes of the movie, we kind of skip like 15 years of Tupac's life. And I mean, there's not really any character development. It just felt like a Tupac's greatest hits. Like, here, remember when the cops shot and Tupac shot at them back? Remember when Tupac got shot when he was in the elevator? Remember the whole rape case that Tupac went through? It just felt like a greatest hits of his life, and we don't need that. I wanted to understand the character. He's a complex person in real life. Why couldn't we get that here? Number 1 for me by far is The Bye Bye Man. Now, I hope you guys have not seen this movie, because this right here was terrible, but it was probably the most entertaining movie I've seen all year. This movie was hilarious. Hilarious, I tell you. Jump scares central right here. Obviously, we have the horror tropes and cliches, unfortunately, but this movie, man, the villain was stupid. You just say bye bye man. I think there's even a part where like they go to Google and type in bye bye man and nothing shows up, which I thought was odd because you would think bye bye is very common. Alright, if I remember right, there's like some backstory set in the 50s of some guy killing people over the bye bye man. It was just everywhere. It was weird, and it wasn't scary. It was just I don't want to see this movie again. So these are my top 10 worst or most disappointing movies of 2017. Obviously, I haven't seen everything, but I'm sure Wish Upon would have made the list and other movies. If you're new, you want to hit the like button for this video. You want to hit the subscribe button for this channel, and you want to join the quest.